guys, Grim Reaper here. Today we're going to be talking about games that should be made into movies.
Yes.
Master Blaster here and I will be talking about what movies that should come out based on games. We'll also talk about games that should be redone, that had movies that were made on them be redone. But our big one that we all know and really want to talk about is his favorite one that he's been talking about a lot. Which one is that?
What? Did I say Legend of Zelda?
No, it was Halo. It was Halo.
Oh yeah. No, I mean I've been waiting for Halo, but I mean they're okay. So they already made the miniseries, the web series, and you know, if you piece that together, that can be the game I really want to be turned into a movie.
Yeah, and we all know Peter Jackson's been wanting to do it.
What? No, nothing. Just look at this thing.
Peter Jackson's been wanting to do Halo, and for any of you guys who've seen Lord of the Rings, on a side note, Zelda, can you imagine Peter Jackson doing a Zelda movie? I can, and it would be an awesome movie.
Yeah.
But going back to Halo, you know, Peter Jackson had that, and, you know, he actually had the audacity to make life-size Warthog, and actually running and with an actual minigun. Now, this was just so you could show them saying it can be done and it would look amazing. Now flash forward all the years to now, you got Steven Spielberg doing that, you know, web series for Xbox for Halo. You know, I would love to see them. You know,
that's gonna be a TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would love them to see to get together and do a Halo movie.
Yeah.
It would be awesome to follow, you know, the whole storyline and get you what we all want to see. You know, the director of District 9 and he is also directing Elysium was the one guy that they were going to use to make the Halo movie. They said no because he's a nobody. He did District 9 and look at that. They're like, well, we want you to do the movie.
Not only did they do District 9, they used kind of set pieces and some of the
weaponry looked pretty badass.
Yeah, some of the resources that they were going to use in the Halo movie into District 9, and it looked great.
And I'm still waiting to see District 10. They said they're going to make a sequel to District 9. We'll wait and see what they do. But Halo, that has great potential to be an amazing movie. Take Aliens 2, the Colonial Marines. Take out the alien factor of being obliterated, but take badasses like them, put them in the armor, and you take one super badass guy to play Master Chief, and go, you got something pretty awesome there.
Yeah.
You go different planets. You have the weaponry. The weaponry is easy to replicate. It's just the storyline. Make sure that they do an amazing storyline for that. You know, because we all know a lot of games that get transferred into movies, the story gets turned around and switched around. That makes no sense.
Yeah, they have to take a in most cases like a 10-hour game, 10-hour story, and condense it in 2 hours.
Yeah, and I can see making it at least a 2.5-hour movie. You know, everybody will sit through there, and you know, it can be done. But for the fact is, you know, if you can't have it all in one movie, just try what you can. And, you can make several movies. It's not going to be like, oh, we have to all get it done in one movie. You know, take a scooper, take all the boring parts out that makes no sense, and just use all the. Scoop? Yeah, that's how you scoop. That's how you scoop. Okay. Jerk. But yeah, you do all that, and then you take all the main points and the interesting parts, and we go together, and then do what you can to make that game into a movie as amazing as possible. The special effects are there. You know, I hope they don't use CGI that much for the aliens. I hope they go with more practical effects with guys in costumes, because that will make the movie look that much more amazing, and it will stand up a lot longer over the years, because CGI won't stand up that much. You know, if it's not done right, the CGI after like 5 years, the CGI looks like crap, and it's not cool. Final Fantasy, the Advent Children,
the Spirits Within.
Spirits Within. The CGI for that one still looks amazing.
Yeah, it does.
So, like I said, some CGI will look good for years and years to come. Some CGI will not look good, and you know those movies look terrible. You watch it like, oh, but this movie was awesome. The CGI wasn't there. Practical costume effects will work a lot better, and will help it last a lot longer. like Alien, the Harry and the Hendersons, the original Star Wars. All those last a lot longer because they all use practical effects. Now, not all practical effects will last that long. Like the original Evil Dead movie, the that used more like claymation stuff like that. The death scene, the skin melting away. It doesn't hold up, but the story is still pretty cool. But it doesn't hold up. Stuff like that. You have to use the right tools so that will last a lot longer. And for the effects, they basically used a mask over the person's face, and it wasn't glued down properly, or it wasn't lined properly. So stuff like that. If it's not done right, you'll get movies like that 5 years or a couple of years later, it won't even last 5 years. It'll probably last a couple of years and be like, oh, look at that, I can tell it's pretty crappy. Yeah. For Halo, we gotta put a lot of attention to detail.
With Halo, Microsoft will make the budget to put out.
Actually, there was a deal with Peter Jackson and the movie studio and was it either Microsoft or Bungie? The deal was that they all spent the equal amount to make the movie. I don't know if it was Microsoft or Bungie or whatever, but they said, you know what, why don't you guys put up a little bit more money and we put a little bit less? I'm like, why would you? And they expect the same amount of return money back as the other guys, which was not fair and not right. I go, you just put in the same amount, don't worry about it, you're going to get your money back and then some because the fans are going to watch it and you guys do pay attention to detail.
I would have watched it twice.
Yeah, and
after I watched it 5 times.
Now imagine it, Halo on IMAX in 3D, that'd be amazing.
Yep.
Like they do with Transformers 2, where you watch the whole movie, and then during like fight sequences, the whole IMAX screen. Now go fast forward all the way to Transformers 3. 3D was really amazing, but during big action sequences, it was the whole screen, and in 3D. Now imagine that for Halo for the big battle sequences in space, the whole screen. 3D glasses on, ships flying everywhere, landing on the planet.
Yep.
It's like Starship Troopers, Alien Colonial Marines mixed together. Be a badass Halo movie.
Yeah.
And Starship Troopers wasn't a bad movie. It's pretty good. It's still a pretty decent movie. It's one of those guilty pleasures. It's one of those movies that it was bad, but it was still a good movie. But you take how they do that, and improve on that. And I think that's what Halo is basically. Is people saw Star Wars and goes, we can make that better and make it a cooler game, and you get Halo. Take all the crappy stuff out, take away what's his name, the guy who played Rico, Casper Van Dien. Take him out. Take all these extra, but you take what's cool about certain things about the military and. That you don't need to see the hero's face, and that's what makes that shit so cool. You can have anybody in that suit playing Master Chief, and when you do finally reveal his face, you pick the actor that you want to have to be that person. And you don't, and as long as you keep consistent with the height wise, because also you can't have Master Chief 6 feet tall, and also you have somebody that's about 5 feet tall. Yeah, I'm a pony. Yeah, that wouldn't work. So you have to be consistent with it. It'd be pretty cool to see them do something like that.
In the web series, they chose, I forgot his name, but the guy that played Colossus in the X-Men.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, and it's pretty interesting what they're going to be doing with it. I'm kind of excited. I never couldn't get behind the Halo games, but I know the mythology a bit. And I was excited to see the movies. I know from the games they're pretty visually awesome, and for a movie, it would definitely make an amazing movie. It's no doubt about it. When you see video games being made into movies, that's one game that should definitely get its own movie, hands down, without a doubt. Another one that would be good to be made into a movie would be Uncharted, which they're talking about. And
yeah, but that one is really easily. Or you can really easily mess that one up.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like a modern Indiana Jones. The only problem was that they had Nathan Fillion was associated with it. Mark Wahlberg. Nothing against Mark Wahlberg. He's good in certain roles.
Like?
Certain roles.
Such as?
Certain roles.
Oh, okay.
Such as basically like in Four Brothers, the bad boy who came from nowhere.
Bad boy.
Or like or goofy comedies where he's not really taken seriously, like Ted or the other guys.
Where he doesn't really have to act.
Yeah, and
pretty much.
As far as him being action role, look what he did next Pain.
Oh man, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Max Payne was so bad.
Yeah. So you get that. So that's why you wouldn't want Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake. Like I said, nothing against him. It's just he's made for certain roles, and for that role, he is not made for. Nathan Fillion is a good actor, but I don't see him playing Nathan Drake the way he's played. His comedy in Serenity and in Firefly would do perfectly. Back then, if they were to do the Uncharted movies back then,
10 years ago,
he would have been a perfect candidate because he looked like he could play Nathan Drake pretty well. But now I don't think he would be a perfect choice for it. I think we would have to go with an unknown or an up and coming actor who hasn't done that much, but who has been seen, but who could do that role some justice. That role needs to be justice. James Roday could probably do the role, but I wouldn't recommend it because his acting is more comedic wise and not much action wise.
The thing is the action. Has he had a chance to do something actiony?
No, he was in Beer Fest, and he was the messenger who gets killed off. He was in Gamer, he played a news reporter, and he's done Psych. He hasn't really done that much action, and I don't know if I can take him seriously as an action hero. But then again, we have not seen him do anything seriously. I feel
like if somebody lets him do something actiony or something ever so slightly serious, then we can see his chops as an actor.
But if you think about it, look at Matthew Fox. Everybody thought he was a joke of an actor from Lost. Everybody thought he was not a serious actor. They thought he didn't have the skills to be on the big screen and do something really awesome. Yeah, well, watch Alex Cross, and he could prove you wrong. His performance in that was scary awesome. Look at Heath Ledger when he did for the Joker. He blew it out of the water. So any actor can turn around and do it, but they have to have the ability to be able to make you believe and see what they can do. But as far as Uncharted goes, you have not only Nathan Drake, but you have his buddy Sully. And the only person that I could think of that visually looks like that character and could play that character to a T is Bruce Campbell. Look at Burn Notice. He looks just like him. He acts like him. He could play that character very well. And I wouldn't be surprised to even see the other guy in Burn Notice. What is his name? His name escapes me right now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him as Nathan Drake, but I don't think he could do the role the way it was in the games. But I could see him play a role like that. He played crazy in was it Blair Witch 2? And his role as a crazy person was amazing. Yeah.
I don't know.
He could play crazy, he could play serious, but I don't know if he would be able to get the comedy right. But I could see him playing a villain in a movie though, for sure. But yeah, Bruce Campbell would definitely be an amazing pick for that. He looks like him.
But no, like what I was gonna say was that they were gonna originally have it be a family of thieves or something like that, and totally go off the path of what Uncharted is.
And you don't screw with it.
I mean, there's a reason why the games are popular. If you don't believe in the popularity of the games and you want to do your own thing, just make your own movie and don't get somebody else's license to make your own movie.
That's been in the face of the gamer fans and that just spits in the face of the developers who made the game. That's the worst thing you could possibly do.
I mean, with that said, and that's what you picked. I feel like Uncharted doesn't really need its own movie.
No, it doesn't. But it definitely would be awesome to see them do it.
Yeah.
The game itself they're amazing. The graphics wise, story wise, each one was a solid game. For them to do a movie, it would be pretty cool. It would be cool to see. And them to do that would be pretty awesome. But that game could be easily, that movie could be easily screwed up easily.
Yeah. And
for what they're looking for, they're looking for a high caliber actor to carry the movie into a franchise. No, you don't want to do that. Look at Chris Hemsworth. He's Thor. He's playing a major character, and he's being the franchise. Doing an amazing job. You don't need a big name to carry that movie. You just need an actor who has the caliber of an A-list actor who can do that. He's fresh faced. He has nothing behind him saying, "Oh, like he can't do it." And plus, the dollar amount that you have to pay him to play that role is less, so you can use that for more production value, like set pieces, traveling.
What's Chris Hemsworth's little Liam?
Liam
Hemsworth?
Hemsworth, yeah.
He's tall. He could probably do it.
Yeah, but then his dollar value is gonna be up a little bit higher too. But yeah, I don't know. He after seeing him in The Hunger Games, he's just like a little whiny girl. I can't see him playing the tough smart ass. But then again, he could probably rob. He's done a lot of chick flicks, so.
Okay, I guess, but they killed him off way too quickly in Expendables 2, and I feel like he was probably one of the only good guys in that movie.
He did a pretty good job in Expendables 2, but unfortunately he had a small role in that.
So. I mean, spoilers.
Too little, too late.
Yeah.
So what other game do you think should be made into a movie?
Well, I mean, I was saying Legend of Zelda, but Legend of Zelda has to be
starring Orlando Bloom.
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, if they make a Legend of Zelda movie, I would say that they can make it what it was originally supposed to be, and it's the story of a little boy, like a 10 or 11-year-old boy out on his adventure.
I would start off with like 12 or 13.
Okay, well, I mean, he could be playing some that age, or he could be 12 or 13, because not all of the Legend of Zelda games, they're not the same Link.
Yeah. There are different different ages of that character.
Yeah.
Taken at various points. That's what made the game so successful. It's basically the game is taking a snapshot of that part of his life, and then you change over to another game. He's older, but it's not the same. Like wait, why isn't he the same age? Why is it different? They're taking different. It's basically like a snapshot of different parts of his life and saying, "This is what happened during that
No,
time."
Every single game except for a few here and there, it's a different person. It is literally a different Link. And it's kind of so in the story, I believe it's every 100 years a new hero arises, and
kind of sounds like Avatar.
Kind of, but what came out first?
Yeah, but I'll just say that it just kind of sounds like Avatar did, and I'm like, yeah, look what happened to that movie.
Well, okay, look what happened to that movie, but
yeah, see,
they don't.
That's why you want to make sure you get the right people to make the movie.
The thing is,
but I think Peter Jackson would be a perfect fit for that movie.
They could. It's in the name though. It's a legend. The Legend of Zelda. Like, it can be. They can go a lot of different ways for it. They can start it out as kind of like every other movie, just telling the story, or it can also be narrated because somebody's telling a legend.
Yeah, I think that would be a better way to do it. Like with the Hobbit, how the Hobbit started. It's basically him telling the story, and then also he cuts out where you don't hear his voice anymore, and he goes into it. And that's a nice way. That'd be a good way to start that series. That would be pretty cool.
Link does not talk during Legend of Zelda at all. So
like Dumbo didn't talk during the movie. Never seen Dumbo? Fact for you guys: Dumbo is the only Disney main character of the movie where he doesn't speak a single word.
Holy. Okay, so he doesn't speak a single word. I gotta watch that movie now.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? So in Dumbo, I'm sorry. In Legend of Zelda, am I correct by saying that the supporting characters basically carried
the role? Yeah.
Okay. So
like Snow White with what's her name? Kristen Stewart. She only said a few lines. Now, if you have Link just say a few lines, like say a few things, like it doesn't have to be much, like a few things in there. That would still be a pretty good thing.
If you want, but like he doesn't, like he can have like in Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, he has a fairy with him, and let me tell you guys
it's not Peter Pan.
Well, when did that come out?
Peter Pan has Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell doesn't talk though, but Peter Pan does. It's like a roll switch.
Tinkerbell. So that the fairy can talk for him. And there was a Legend of Zelda kind of fake trailer that came out.
That was a pretty
for,
cool one.
Yeah, for IGN's April Fool's joke. That was kind of like right at the beginning of the movie, his mentor or dad, or it's not completely clear what he is to him, but he says, "Now, when you get there, talking about a town, when you get there, do not talk to anybody." So that would kind of explain why he doesn't talk. But in the game, sometimes you see someone ask Link a question, and then right as he's about to answer, somebody else will come in and be like, "Of course he's something," and there's a lot of ways where you can have the main character not speak. They can make it comedic too. Like, it's a Legend of Zelda movie. It doesn't have to be this really serious movie where, yes, he has a sword and shield and he's killing enemies or whatever, but, the enemies in the movies could be manifestations of Ganon's power. And then in, like, Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, they disintegrate and they turn into kind of like skull smoke. Basically saying,
they're dead.
It doesn't. Well, yeah, but you don't have to have it can be a PG movie, still have swordplay, and it could be for the kids to enjoy.
Yeah.
I'd like that. Just have Legend of Zelda be a kids movie.
Yeah.
People were upset when they first saw the what Legend of Zelda a Wind Waker on GameCube, how that looked like. Oh, it's CG. It looks like Kitty. I'll admit I was one of those people, but once I played that game, the game was awesome, and yes, it had a childlike feel, but
yeah, my brother was hooked on that game for a while.
Yeah, the game was amazing.
I remember because when I first pre-ordered that game, and you got the original Nintendo 64 games on the GameCube game, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
it was a pretty cool thing, and I got that for my brother for his birthday, and Jesus Christ, he spent hours and hours playing all those games, and he played the Wind Waker game like nobody's. He wasn't really into it. He was like, nah. But he played the other ones over, and he beat them again. He played a little bit of the Wind Waker. He got so hooked on it, it was ridiculous. That game was really addictive for him.
The thing is, that game. Now, my favorite Legend of Zelda game is Twilight Princess, where Link is already an adult and he's a young adult, so maybe around 17.
18.
And that one felt really serious, but for a movie, the Legend of Zelda.
It could be like a Harry Potter series where it starts off a little light, but then it gets a little bit heavier.
I guess you can. The thing is, those are based off of books, and the books were written.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you were to do like you start off with him young, it's a little bit lighter, but when he gets older, it gets a little bit more serious because.
No, well, I mean, that would be the same way of doing Legend of Zelda. That would mean he would take on a different dungeon every single time, and then the very last movie would have to be like the boss, finally versus, Ganon or Ganondorf, which.
Or he gets close to Ganon, or then when he gets close to Ganon, but since he's not experienced enough to.
How many movies were I've never seen any of the Harry Potter movies. By the way,
8 movies, 7 books.
Okay. That's just about enough, actually, for them to do a Legend of Zelda series, and that could go fine as well if they have the one actor playing a Link.
Yeah.
Then you can.
Then you can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah. And,
huh.
You could do it that way. Yeah. But I think for the style for that, you know, and you have to get a great, you know, the costume design team, set piece people. You know, you have to get these guys, get the top the line people in their fields to be able to bring these characters and the movie to life.
Get New Zealand prepared for yet another medieval
yeah.
type movie.
Yeah. And then you got the makeup
Fantasy.
pieces to make sure you get the ears, you know, nicely.
Yeah.
You know, you could get pointy ears, but yeah, if you don't glue it on properly, you can see the difference between the skin tone and everything. You have to get the right people who, with their, in that crafting area, to know what they're doing to make that movie amazing. And,
Yeah.
you know,
There's so much that you can do with it. The thing is, with a movie, like for Harry Potter, every character spoke.
Yeah.
For Legend of Zelda, I would think it'd be hard for them to keep up 7 or 8 movies with a main character that doesn't speak. Now, in the last game to come out, that was Skyward Sword, he actually does speak, but you don't read any of his words. So, if ever anybody needed information, you can see him speaking by opening his mouth like that and just being like, you know. But you don't read anything, so you can make a movie where he speaks. It's just, you know, it's not common for the character.
Yeah. But I think for the movie, they're gonna have to make him speak. But, you know.
Yeah.
But you know,
Or they can, and as you mentioned before, say very little.
Yeah. And I think it'll be, you know, that will definitely work as well. For that one, you know, with these games, you know, everyone, they have a big fan base, you know, and for them to be made into a movie, everybody who's played these games and spent hours on these games and grew up with these games dread for them to become a movie because you know somebody's gonna screw it up.
Like Super Mario, man.
Super Mario, Max Payne,
Couldn't trust that fungus. I'll tell you what.
Double Dragon.
Oof, all bad.